have another example of factoring. Now, given this equation, we can recognize right away that there is something common to all three of these terms, and that is x. So to factor that out, we would just go ahead and pull that out, leaving us with x times x squared minus 6x plus 6 equals 0. Now to make this equal to 0, we got to recognize that one or both of these terms, either the x or this whole equation, is equal to 0. So let's take them individually and set them equal to 0 and solve for x. So taking the first term, which is just x, equals 0. That was easy. X equals 0 is one of our solutions. Now taking the second term, we have x squared minus 6x plus 6 equals 0. Now we can recognize right away that this is a quadratic equation with 1 is our a, negative 6 is our b, and positive 6 is our c. Remembering the quadratic formula, we can go ahead and plug our values right in. So negative 6 is just 6. Square root of b squared, which is negative 6 squared, minus 4 times a times c, all over 2 times a. Now let's clean that up a bit, and we have x equals 6 plus or minus, and we can go ahead and use our calculator to figure out what's inside of the radical. We have negative 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 6 is 12. So 12 is what's under the radical, all over 2. We're almost there. We know that this is the same thing as 6 plus or minus square root of 4 times 3 all over 2. And using our rules of radicals, we can just rewrite that as x equals 6 plus or minus 2, because the square root of 4 is 2, times the square root of 3 all over 2. Cleaning that up, we have x equals, we're going to divide each term by 2 because that's what's common. 3 plus or minus square root of 3 all over 1, which is the same thing as 3 plus or minus square root of 3. And those are our second two solutions, the positive and the negative. So we have x equals 0 and x equals 3 plus or minus square root of 3. And we're done.